I'm not driving the cart back to the bee area, to the apiary. This time I'm just gonna walk back. I got my smoker and the hive tool. I'm really just gonna use this time to observe, to see how the hives are doing, and then I'll plan another time to come back and make any corrections or add boxes or install the nukes or whatever I need to get done. It's kind of nice to just take a walk every once in a while anyway. All right, I can see the hives. Hoping for all good news. I don't like the idea that my negligence could be causing the bees to have a hard time surviving. I know it has been in the past, but I don't want it to be that way forever. Just glancing right here, I don't know, let's take a look. Without getting into it too much, I know it's the middle of the day and there's a lot of foragers out, but the number of bees going in and out is not very big. It may just be because it's the middle of the day and they're all out. We're gonna take a look in these nukes right here. First, there's 2 of them. This one has a fewer number of bees going in and out, so I'm a little bit concerned about what's going on in there, but let's just take a look. Hey. Well, there's bees. They seem pretty content. I probably don't even have to do a lot here. There are a lot of hive beetles, so I do need to find a way to take care of that. The hive looks like it's doing okay. It's not completely full. They still have room, which means that I haven't... I thought I had a bee in my veil. That's a little nerve-wracking. This nuke appears to be doing well enough, and it's not growing too fast, so it's not going to outgrow the space. And it does look like I need to get it installed soon, but it's not busting at the seams. I'm just going to cap that one back up. Here's the second nuke. I probably do need to pull a frame on this one because it looks like it might be a little more full. They're very docile at the moment. They probably don't need any smoke at all. I think my fire went out. I think they're probably okay. I don't think I have to be concerned about this one. Oh, this is a very light frame, so there's not much going on. They have built out some comb, but they have lots of room in there. The 2 nukes that are only 5 frames each are sitting on top of the other one. So I'm going to move these 2, inspect that 3rd one. Hive beetles are a serious problem. I need to find a solution. So far this one looks really good too. Lots of bees, lot of bee activity. I can see that they've drawn out some of those upper combs. This is the one that was growing really fast at first, so I put that second box on. There are a lot of hive beetles along the top edges. We'll be looking more seriously into the hive strips that go onto the bottom, or traps or something to help control the hive beetles. They have drawn a lot of comb. They're starting to put some honey stores. You can see in this one on the top, they're starting to put some honey in there. And I can look down in here and see a lot of comb, a lot of bees, a lot of activity. It looks like there's a nice level of activity in this upper box. I was kind of afraid that I put the box on too soon, which would have meant that they would struggle really bad with defending that real estate. But it looks like they've managed pretty well. So except for the hive beetles, I'm not terribly concerned about the condition of this hive. I think it's doing well. So I'm not gonna dig around and frustrate them. I'm gonna kill a few beetles. It's almost like a video game, smashing beetles. We're gonna button this one back up, and we're gonna take a peek inside some of these other hives, but first I gotta put these nukes back so that when the forage bees come back, their hive's gonna be in the same place. Which reminds me, I brought my measuring tape out. I wanna see exactly how wide this is, the entrance to the nuke, because I'm gonna make a blocking board so that when I move these hives, I'm gonna just set a board down on there. So that's 8 inches. Hive number 2, just to look in and see how they're doing. I'm always pleased just to see a good number of bees when I crack these open. I've had a few that you can tell right away as soon as you open it that there's major trouble in the hive. This hive has a deep, a large medium, and a regular medium. That's the 7 5/8 and the 6 5/8. Got myself in a little bit of a pickle when I started mixing mediums. I didn't mean to. I either forgot what I was ordering or I didn't understand that there were 2 different sizes of mediums. See, they haven't built in this top one yet on that side, but they're started to on that side. That was the second from the last frame, and the last one is pretty much empty. You can see they're building honey on that side, and this one is pretty much completely full. So they're going to be very good going into the winter. And I can see down in there, in that second hive body, that there's a lot of honey in that too. They seem fairly docile, which is good. I've had enough of the angry bees. It's nice coming out here and just doing what I got to do without feeling like they're going to kill me. I'm going to go down and look at hive 4, 5, and 6. They've had very little maintenance. They've also been doing pretty well by themselves, so hopefully they're still doing well. All right, let's take a look at number 4 first. Right away I noticed there are a few hive beetles in this one too, but not as bad as the other hive. The goal is, at least I think the goal is, that they go into winter with as much of their own stores as possible so that they can just get through the winter months and then, you know, use those resources, and then in the spring we'll start building boxes on top again. This entire box is full of honey. So at this point I'm gonna have to inquire with some of the local beekeepers to see if I should go ahead and put another super on this, another box. I don't want to give too much room and then give them a hard time with the beetles and such, but I also don't want them to be honey bound, which means there's so much honey, not enough room to manage having enough brood, which is the baby bees. This is interesting. There are spider webs under the lid, and I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe the spiders are eating hive beetles. Check that out. I'm not sure if it's a good thing to leave the spiders there or take them out. Before I take them out, I'm gonna see if I can do a little research on that. So for now, he's safe. This is hive 5, and hive 5 has the deep and 2 of the 7 5/8 mediums on there. So let's see what that top one looks like. And I'm not doing a super deep inspection, you can tell. I'm just kind of getting an overview. I haven't been out here in a few weeks. I just want to know how things are going in general. You know, who's in trouble and who's not. So far it looks like nobody's in trouble. They're dealing with the hive beetles pretty well on their own. Okay, this is the top box of hive 5. This is the last frame. I do see a beetle climbing out of there, but they have lots of beautiful comb. They built that out very nicely. Not honey in this one, but I can see that there's some honey in the second one. Actually, there's no honey in the second one, but lots of comb. They have built this out beautifully. They're getting ready to put honey in it. I can tell. Nearly full. Just a little bit of room on the bottom of that. On both sides. And that's all I need to see in here. I can look down and see that there's lots of bees all doing their thing. You hear that noise? Every once in a while you do something and you can hear the excitement of the bees. And I think in that case I probably squashed one and it got them all riled up. Okay, now we're going to get into the one you're sitting on here, which is hive number 6. probably about time for me to add the entrance reducers too, because right now they are all full wide open. This one, just like Hive 5, is 1 deep and 2 7 5/8 mediums. Well, my battery died while I was back there at the beehive, so you couldn't finish seeing Hive 6. That was a weird noise over in the neighbor's yard. Oh well. Hive 6 looks a lot like the rest of them. You know, everything's doing well. They have plenty of honey in the top box, but a little extra room on the edges, so they're not completely full. All except for that one hive that had the top box completely full edge to edge. I'm gonna have to get some advice. If you have some advice, please type it in the comments below and we'll have a conversation. But I'm also gonna call some local beekeepers, some friends of mine, and find out whether they would go ahead and put another box, another super on that, going into the last part of November and December. There's a little bit of pollen out here, but not very much. So I don't think there's a whole lot of a flow, but I just don't want them to run out of room. So that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for following my story, my journey. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon.